Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
Welcome to nothing else than a game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive, if you ever heard of that. It's a first-person shooter where you have to kill the terrorists or the counter-terrorists. Surprise, surprise, isn't it? And therefore, we're directly hopping on to Train, as it's nothing else than the Oceania Qualifier, and a lovely Paradox needs to fight against Order. This is lower bracket round 1. Both of the teams could be eliminated by now through the Qualifier, as double elimination only allows 2 specific mistakes. In the meantime, Kingfisher and Co. are starting a little bit of an Ivy aggression. It's gonna force away Zepp. As the molly's coming in, this could at least delay it a bit. Not too much. Noobster's gonna come through. And as Ince is looking for a frag, it seems like Zeph having his control on the back of Train is working fine. It's all though coming down to only that B side. Alistair is going to move around, going to find the head, and that's nothing else than a bomb on a pedestal, a gift by the Paradox site. A single lonely Glock, which is now swapped by a beautiful USPS, but one shot. But a kill, most definitely coming in. Order taking the lead. And as I figured it out correctly, it is actually, unfortunately, Paradox playing with 2 stand-ins, as 2 of those players are not 16. So in some countries, that's no problem. In Germany, it is a specific problem because those 2 players are not allowed to even play the game in Germany legally. And then, of course, they can't play it on a big stage and be like, yeah, that's fine. No, they're actually not allowed to play it, but here they are. You know, that's not how laws work in 90% of the cases. In 99% of the cases. But that's just my guess. A beautiful headshot coming onto Alistair. This round should be just by the book. This Order has picked this map. Should be all fine. Ince considers to turn around, and he will have no real problem finding noobs. So this is a good bit of control, as from now on, they can rule out position by position. In the end, though, it's only 2 players, so no real situation where I see this working. Both are building their personal tower, and it's gonna collapse in the end. And Train, just talking about that, Paradox has no record on this map. Of course, starting on the T side is also a bit of a problematic situation in that sense that it's further complicated and statistically proven that the CT side on this map is better. Obviously, Order, who have picked this map and played it 4 times in the last 3 months, are better on the CT side. Picked up wins against Atletico, Content, and Chiefs, whilst losing to Greyhound just a few days ago. Of course, shutdown is initiated, good damage is dealt. And that is actually surprisingly good damage, considering the CT site has to build up an economy with a little more obstacles in the way. That indeed is now Order, taking an easy 3-0. As that is going to be the first approach of Paradox taking out the weapons. Noobs are starting fine. This isn't Mitchman. I know. I'm the best impression. I'm the best impression of an Irishman. I can't fix it. I'm not Irish. I'm sorry. I don't even know how an Irish accent would work, but in the meantime, It's not about the Irishmen, it's about the Australians, and it's gonna be Noobster taking out one after another. The nade goes good towards Electric, and he even finds one. It seems like Buller is looking for more and more. Tries to get a better understanding of the situation. Either way, it works, and that is one last man who's just down to 22 HP to resolve the situation on his own. The nice part is he has a molly, which could in the end delay the defuse. But on the other side is also Buller, who has nothing else than the smoke. So in the meantime, clearing out the side, realizing nobody's even nearby. Take your time with the smoke, just adjusting it right. And this is now only one AKT turning around. It's not gonna work, they got the control over it. And Paradox, a plan that has successfully brought a few additional dollars in the bank account, was nice and great, but it did not succeed to get around on the board. And of course, to point that out, you are allowed to correct me 24/7 with any of those Australian team names, part of the player names. So I think I'm okay with them. So let's see. As Paradox got the bomb down, of course, is allowing them to get a proper buy into it again. Mainly focusing towards either Pop Dog or the situation in front of B, while sending Chubster for the lurk, who actually is not gaining too much attention from any of the CTs. Also with a beautiful AWP angle to now take down the first, deals massive damage, and puts him down to one single point of health. That is not a lot. As patient seems to be the main objective here for Paradox. Their take on the B side. Could that work? Sees the head of Imagine, and that's another player down. Noobster with 2, and this is allowing them full control over on B as the op strikes with perfection. It's not going to be much more with such shots. You can say bye-bye to round number 5. Order's last player, Zeph, is most likely going to retreat. And so it is finally sign of life from Paradox. And that sign of life, it had to come in once in a while. It was actually just the previous round where it looked already quite close, but ever since, it's still the thing for me, and that has to be pointed out. The matter of fact that Paradox is playing with a stand-in, got into close qualifier, and now trying to survive here in the lower brackets. I'm very impressed, nevertheless, what the performance is going to be. Because for me personally, it is still that they're continuing with their will to fight in this, and it might sound so basic, but for me personally, it's still great to see. It's still great to watch. What's not so great to watch for the Paradox side is surely the first man down, and the great awareness of Alistair. Paradox taking their time again. Extremely patient approach. They also took during the time where they were more likely to find the first, which they then did. But that is just nasty. Intas his personal X-ray on, takes down Noobster. More to come. Kingfisher dodges all the bullets who are whiffing around his head. Let's hope Buller, pardon, imagine his crew right now just looking a bit on the back foot, as Kingfisher's ops could strike quite massively, but they're coming closer and closer. The bomb has not made its way yet, so Seth plays a pivotal role in this. The man is blind, and he's still dodging his own death. A bit of an aggression could come in, as the op needs to bring that bomb ASAP to his right-hand side. He knows there's a chubster. Oh, and if he pre-fires for the smoke. No, Seth. Stay calm. It would be, of course, perfect if he now starts shooting. But is his patience going to prevail? This is just a dance around the smoke and the belay. It has to end. Only Kingfisher alive, a single op that's going to fall. How many CSGO teams at pro level can a clan have? I'm not sure if I understand that question. What is supposed to mean by that? Meant by that, pardon. In one tournament, I think it, for example, I think ESL has not allowed, would allow an academy tournament, an academy team in a tournament where also a main team is in, because then, you know, that could potentially have some problems. I think there was a case at PGL Krakow where Fnatic Academy was called Ballistics due to that. Either way, getting away from that, or with beautiful 5-1 lead, don't have any major problems. On the right track, cruise control on. And when you're on a T side of train, you need to have an exceptional game plan to outplay your opponent, or your opponent never plays train. That's the alternative to it. Either way, In's coming out. Players trying to just get around the wagons and so easily on the side. With a molly just popping so uncomfortably. That's one down. Tensei gotta say goodnight. Same goes for Chubster, and Kingfisher's gotta join the fishes. Order is just initiating a shut down. Pardon me. It's early. You know, I don't know what time it is in Australia. It's 10:26 here. Seth is establishing control over on A. Again, the problem after this one will be Paradox hardly having any money left. Sure, there's the biggest losing bonus ever coming their way. It's still not really helping you. In the matter of fact, it's still not helping you that you can't gain any real control over the situation. As Alistair saw up, he just saw a pixel. One jiggle peeking up on top. Finding one after another. It's just brilliant. Still Kingfisher strikes back. Tensei and his teammates. I got my doubts it's gonna work. All over the map. Order screams for order. They're gonna get that order. Paradox. It will be their opponent running to already the first half taken. 7-1 should, technically speaking, the scoreline anytime soon. And as though Alistair tries to take that Tensei. Once he gets on the sides, that's gonna work brilliantly. And there's the pause being called. His ping is not working so fine. 100 it is. In the meantime, there's City odds order a bit favorable at the moment, which is understandable. Next up, by the way, map number 2, that would be Mirage, which is heavily order favored as well, though Paradox has picked up victories against Rooster and Atletico. The track record speaks for simply the crew of Imagine. That team picking up one win after another, for example, also against Greyhound, and that twice. Unpaused, and we're back into the game as Paradox looks for a path into this. Also, in the meantime, a quick look on the scoreboard tells us that this is some damage. Hats with over 150. Absolutely drastic damage dealt so far. Talking about him, he's falling down. The ZZs are starting a shutdown. But either way, it's getting a little dangerous for Ints. Both ops nearly falling down. It's only the noobs are standing back in Ivy. And situation occurred to be dangerous. Again, this is, by the way, about nothing else in the slot for that minor. We're in the beginning stage of this Oceania closed qualifier. If you're just wondering which sort of teams we're seeing here, of course, Greyhounds up on top together with Order, Paradox, and Rewound. Otherwise, Avant, Genuine, Ground Zero, and PC 419 made it through. And the Asia Miners already stacked with quite decent teams. Energy from South Africa, MBPPK from the East Asian region, FFA Mix from MENA, and Alpha Red from Southeast Asia. So, most definitely decent Counter-Strike we're about to see. And so Alistair picks up the first. That's Tensei down. Once more, control belongs to Order. And this half is already in their hands. There is first 8 rounds, possibly 9, going to Order. They definitely feel so comfortable over here. Frag needs to come in. That's Prack down. The op strikes again. And Int is not to be stopped. The triple in this round already. And he locks down the sights. Builds up the walls, and the gates are closed. Nobody of Paradox is even allowed to come anywhere near. Kingfisher doing himself a favor by saving the AWP for the last 30 seconds. Otherwise, it would be just money wasted. Would be just buying a DVD of Game of Thrones Season 8. So I think overall you really need to be a die-hard fan to buy a DVD of Game of Thrones. Until this day. Is the ending for Kingfisher as bad as the ending of Season 8? Unfortunately it is. Imagine takes him down. And so, Paradox on the right track. Pardon, on the right track. Order on the right track. Alistair. Oh, what? And this could have never happened. Alistair with a flick by the book, as he probably has to go to the hospital afterwards, as this must have brutal wrist injury. God damn it, what in God's name was that? Absolutely disgusting. You thought he was he was never to be seen, out of the range of the scope, out of the field of view, and then he does something that looked so Draken-esque. Absolutely disgusting. 10-1 it is. And Paradox. I mean, I honestly don't know if they'll bounce back. I have my doubts, and even though this is a beautiful shot from Noobster, pretty much lining up for Hats, another one to come through. The damage towards main has been dealt. And Hatsu's playing out of his mind at the moment. Having his mind splatter just behind him. Tensei's op is there to now let the team prevail. In the meantime, Alistair's op wants to do the same, and Imagine is there to assist. Bomb brought on the pedestal, up on a train, to now be retrieved by Noobster. His op, the only glimpse of hope you could see as somebody from Paradox. But the light, it doesn't shine too bright. No, not so sure if anyone heard that. No, doesn't seem to be the case. Noobster on his own. And imagine taking a wide way around. Funny wise, this man played 12 rounds so far, has an ADR 35, whilst having a KD ratio of 6. Absolutely amazing, and this tells you how much ADR and KDR don't really go along. Meanwhile, Noobster, though, the only man to get the second for his team is going to be the Knight. Yes! Unfortunately, that's going to be the case. In order, it's number 11 after they had to sweat a little. I mean, what do you want to do here is Paradox. This is not even your mapping. You have to play with 2 stand-ins. And I would not call Train an easy, puggy-ish map. So, it's at least the pistols that could deal a lot of damage. Overrun the opponent, but the economy of order is too strong anyway that this will inflict them. Alistair with a flick by the book. A demonstration of his skills now over here on the A site. As Paradox still tries to preach through every single time, and he tried with Thermite, with TNT, with CZs. Whatever happens, this double op setup, it glues it all together. It is the glue of this Order CS setup. And that glue holds it together so tightly. Now, oh, this is nasty. There we go. The glue seems to stop becoming a little sticky. Either way, Imagine comes close. Flashbang thrown on the site. And poor Fisher. It's gonna die like the rest. Unfortunate situation for him in Paradox. You can just feel for them at that point. I mean, surely we could just say it's not their picks, or therefore we don't really need to worry. On the other side of things, it's very sad. And it's just 2 more rounds in this half. Then things are being swapped. Order needs to go on the aggressor's side by then. And maybe this is gonna bring them to their knees. Maybe. Gotta put it that way. Seems like they've just got their game plan set. No real flaws to be identified. Now it's getting a little hot over on every single entry point. It's Order who can control the heat. So all the engagements fail. Perhaps it is gonna be the 14-1. Perhaps Paradox will fall on all fronts over and over and over again. Talking about it, Kingfisher survives. Just breaks his angle. Zeph is going to take him down. Of course, he's going to break his ankle. Either way, 13-1. And there's no real pressure in order. This is... It feels like a walk in the park, you know? Grabbing some flowers for your loved ones. Taking a portrait picture of the beautiful lake. Sitting on a bench, reading a book from Franz Kafka. Something like that, maybe. Sounds sophisticated. And in the meantime, we have realized how sophisticated those ops are. With one after another fall in hats. Creates the chaos needed. Paradox cannot prevail at all. And my dear friend Connor said in the beginning, this is going to be a shutdown, and unfortunately he was right. At least for the moment, it is a 14-1, and Order does not struggle a single second. One thing that has to be pointed out is the utility damage, which seems to be a pivotal and critical aspect of the Order setup, or more likely of only their CT setup. Quite impressive it was. I mean, take a look at it. 511 from ins, 312 from hats. This is how you can early deny any further access from your opponent, and this makes it also great. And so Order, 2 rounds away from winning this game. Starting off good is Tensei, but the Glocks immediately strike back, and this 9mm force is coming down to the A site. The power of Order is not to be stopped. They reign supreme over and over again. Still, the bomb has to hit the site. With Dofrax happening. Immediately, Order establish control. The buy is going to be the best they can get at the moment. AK twice. There we go. Slapping the MP5 in the face. Do it again, Alistair. Come on. We have to wait for that. Either way, triple scout setup is something I very enjoy about Paradox at the moment, because it has proved in the past to be very, very effective. As, you know, 2 shots combined do the job. Insto is not here for playing and fooling around. And as Sprackham comes through, his head splattered around the wall behind him. Only one more man. And Alistair, run and gun it is. 16-1 for Order. And this was brutality striking on the side of Haz & Co. Which brings us to a little break. That was beautiful. Thank you very much for tuning in for the first one. We'll just head into a little break and we'll just be right back.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.